Hey everyone, here is California Governor Gavin Newsom introducing Tom Steyer as the head of his Special Economic Recovery Group.
A focus on small businesses throughout the state of California. That bank has grown and it's become truly a national model. Tom, of course, made his career understanding the economy in ways few of us could understand. His insight, his capacity to make investments, to see those investments pay off, his capacity to see the world not just locally, nationally, but internationally, brings those skill sets to bear as well. So values and also an understanding of free markets, understanding capitalism, unfettered and otherwise. We felt he was an ideal candidate to lead the charge and introduce the broader purpose behind this advisory committee. So I will step aside. I'll ask Tom to say a few words, and then I'll introduce the three other well-known Californians that are also joining this advisory panel, and they'll put their perspectives direct to you in just a moment. Tom?
Thank you, Gavin. And I want to take a second here to point out what an exceptional job Governor Newsom has done guiding the state through this pandemic. He has been a steady hand, he's been decisive, he's been forward-thinking, and he has won the admiration of people across the state of California, across the United States, and around the world. He has really done an exceptionally good job, and I think he deserves all of our support and admiration. Health and safety have to be paramount here in California, but everyone is also hurting economically. People across the state are worried about their jobs, and they're worried about taking care of their families. And I think it's absolutely critical at the outset to point out that resource-starved communities have been hit the hardest by this and are suffering the most and disproportionately. And that any equitable recovery plan is going to have to put those communities front and center. This is an unprecedented situation, but the idea of shared prosperity is not one that's new to me, as Governor Newsom said. I did start my own business in California 35 years ago and grew it over 27 years. I also invested in businesses across the state and around the world. But as Gavin said, my great partner, Kat Taylor, and I started a bank in 2007 dedicated to the ideas of economic justice, environmental sustainability, and supporting businesses owned by women and people of color. In addition, I've traveled around this state and the entire country meeting people across the board to get a sense over 8 years of the varied conditions of Americans in this country. So at this point, let me just read the mission statement of what is called, and it's a mouthful, the Governor's Task Force on Business and Jobs Recovery. To develop a strategy to help California recover as fast as safely possible from the COVID-19 induced recession and to create a fair, green, and prosperous future. We will bring together Californians from the public and private sectors and from communities across our state. We will develop a plan that works for all Californians with a particular focus on those hardest hit by the pandemic. Let me say, we have brought together some of the best minds, as Gavin said, in the state to develop a recovery plan. But we will also be reaching out to people across the state, whether those are activists or experts, labor or environment, community groups or philanthropists. This will be a broad-based effort. I do want to thank the members of the task force who have volunteered their time, their wisdom, and their energy. And I particularly want to thank my co-chair, Ann O'Leary, who's the governor's chief of staff, who I have known for a long time and worked together with extremely happily and successfully. I can't tell you what a pleasure it is for me to be back working with Ann. Let me say to close, health and safety remain the most important points here, and we will ensure that they remain that way by staying within the government's framework for opening up the economy. We will also be true to the deepest California values of diversity, inclusion, and innovation. We have the biggest state. We've led in so many ways in terms of information technology and entertainment, in terms of defense electronics and agriculture. We've led in so many ways. We will try to come up with a recovery plan that is worthy of California's past and pushes us to a better future and remedies some of the injustices which this COVID-19 pandemic have revealed in our society. And with that, I will hand it back over to Governor Newsom. Thank you so much, Gavin.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you for all your guidance, your leadership, your counsel, and helping organize this broader advisory committee. I think what Tom said needs to be restated, and that is a safe reset, a safe restart for a roadmap for recovery. Safe, predicated on health, predicated on data, predicated on science. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're going to do this thoughtfully and judiciously, again, guided by values, but more importantly than anything else, guided from a health conscious frame. We clearly recognize the imperative of continuing to meet that.
So the state that just happens to be home to 30 million of us Americans, we just wanted to give our viewers a taste of what Governor...
Okay, folks, I'll get more information on the task force, but I wanted to get that news out as it broke. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.